Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take up too terribly much of your time, hopefully. I just wanted to begin the review process for your exams, number one, and then give you your groups and what materials each group will cover for their Jeopardy PowerPoint, or no, I'm sorry, Jeopardy presentation, and then let you begin working on those. So as you know, your exam will be, and this is language arts, between 100 and 120 questions. For you guys, I think uh, it'll probably be between 110 and 115, I think, but well, at least 120. Whatever it is, I will put it out of 120. It will cover all, or most for you guys, the ability to cover all language arts materials from the first and second quarter, so this semester, and the best way to study it will be for your tests and quizzes. So we took 3 tests this semester so far. I have not given you your verbs test back just yet, so I will begin grading those when I come back tomorrow, or I might take them today and do them today. I don't know. Either way, you're not going to have them today. So that's one part of the materials that you're not going to have at your disposal today, but you will have them soon. So I want to go over each topic, and then I will very briefly sort of put the topics together and then give you your groups and your topics. So obviously your first test was over nouns, specifically over what nouns can do. So subject, subject complements, direct objects, and indirect objects, objects of the preposition. I would say new stuff for you would be a positives and a positive phrases. So I don't think those are too terribly difficult, but they are new to this year. So that might be something that you would want to do a little bit of extra work over. Direct and indirect objects and subject complements always seem to have to be an issue for some people, so that might be stuff you want to brush up on. All right, so pronouns, if you really want to like break it down into its parts, you have different types of pronouns, and then you have what pronouns can do. And that's probably how I'm going to break up your projects as well. So with types of pronouns, and let me go ahead and just let's do those in blue. You have personal pronouns. You have possessive pronouns. You have intensive and reflexive pronouns, interrogative pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, and indefinite pronouns. So those are the types of pronouns, okay? And so that basically you just knowing what those are is what that particular skill is. So if I say, you know, find the indefinite pronouns in the sentence, you would be able to identify them. So that's pure identification. The other skills are a little bit more difficult in that it's not just identifying, but also because of their positioning or showing some kind of relationship. So subject versus object pronouns, when to use subject personal pronouns versus object personal pronouns, and of course the agreement of pronouns. So those will probably be how I break up your groups. So when I break you into groups to do your Jeopardy, it's going to be groups of 3, and each of you are going to have a whole test worth of subjects and then half of pronouns. So, but we'll get to that in a minute. Don't worry about it just yet. And then, of course, we took verbs, principal parts of verbs, transitive and intransitive verbs. Probably the most difficult part for you guys are going to be active and passive voice, tense, subject-verb agreement. You'll notice that I don't have modal auxiliaries or mood on there. I'm just going to go ahead and make the decision not to put those on your exam. So you don't have to worry about those. But for the hard parts of this, I would say those tense will be on it. And when I say tense, I'm talking about complex English tenses. Subject-verb agreement always seems to be an issue. And then, of course, like active and passive voice always seems to be an issue in the past. So these are the 3 subjects. I would gather all of your materials before doing anything, or at least all the materials that you have. Obviously, like I said, you don't have your verb test back. So I'm going to give you some time to do that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so these are your groups, and the topics that you're going to cover. Group 1, Mia, Mallory, and Alex. So you'll do nouns, and then types of pronouns. So all the things that do with nouns, and then just the types of pronouns. Group 2 is going to be Lily, Talia, and Jessica. You're going to do verbs, and then subject and object pronouns, and pronoun and antecedent agreement. The reason I did that is because they work better with these, because a pronoun agreement, subject verb agreement are very similar, and subject and object pronouns also kind of revolve around whether you know something is being used as a subject or an object, which have to do with verbs in a way. So those are your groups. Once again, you are going to use the Jeopardy Labs website, which I already believe I put a link on your Google Classroom. Let me check real quick. Yep, so I put the link there. Go to that and just do create a Jeopardy game and put in a password. And then start building. Just remember to use a unique title. As we learned from last year, it is difficult if you do not do this. So go ahead and do this. And you may begin working on this as soon as possible. Of course, you may use questions from your tests or quizzes or questions from elsewhere. It's all up to you. It doesn't really bother me one way or the other. So once again, that's up to you. Just do your best to try to put together all the materials to complete your review. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Good luck, and that's what I got.